Welcome to another deep dive. Today, we're going to be talking all about, well, stepping into the microscopic world of nanostructured drug delivery systems.
Ooh,
Buckle up, because things are about to get incredibly small and incredibly fascinating.
I'm ready.
We're going to be exploring the work of some researchers, groundbreaking work, really,
Mm.
from Sharif University of Technology in Iran, based on a paper they published in 2015.
Okay.
And they developed not one, but two completely different systems that could really change how we think about taking medication.
That's amazing. What's so exciting about this research is that each of these systems offers a unique approach to a major challenge in medicine.
Which is,
How to get the right dose of a drug to the right place at the right time.
I'm already intrigued.
Yeah.
So one of these systems involves a gel that can absorb like a massive amount of medication,
Right.
but then it releases it all in a sudden burst. I'm curious, what was the thinking behind creating a system like that?
Well, that's the cubic gel
Cubic gel, okay.
or cub gel. And it's designed for situations where you need like immediate relief. Think about like the onset of a migraine or an allergic reaction. You want the medication to act fast, and that's precisely what this gel aims to do.
So it's like having a medical first responder already stationed in your body, ready to jump into action.
Exactly, exactly. And the materials that they're using to make this are surprisingly common.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so chitosan, which is found in crustacean shells,
Okay.
and hydroxyapatite, which is a mineral in our bones and teeth.
Wow. So we're talking about a high-tech drug delivery system made from things you could practically find at the seafood market.
It's true.
What led the researchers to explore this combination?
Well, they were drawn to the unique properties of these materials. So chitosan forms a gel-like structure, and then hydroxyapatite adds strength and stability.
Okay.
And it's a clever way to create a biocompatible platform that can hold a large amount of medication.
Okay, that makes sense. But you mentioned this system releases the drug all at once.
Yes.
I'm picturing like a dam bursting open.
Why would that be beneficial? And like, how does it even work?
It all comes down to the structure of the gel.
Okay.
So the researchers found that the cub gel has a really rapid absorption ability,
Okay.
which is great for that initial burst, but they discovered some interesting things about how the chitosan and the hydroxyapatite interact.
Oh.
It seems that the interaction between them isn't as strong as it could be.
Mm-hmm.
So think of it like a woven fabric.
Okay.
If the threads aren't tightly interwoven, it's easier for things to kind of slip through.
Ah. So the drug molecules are essentially escaping through those weak points in the gel structure, leading to that sudden release.
Precisely. Yeah, and another factor is the pore size of the gel. Imagine it like a sieve.
Okay.
If the holes are too big, the medication will pass through too quickly.
So it's a delicate balance between the strength of the gel matrix and the size of those pores.
Exactly. So they're exploring ways to kind of fine-tune those factors to control the release rate. One idea is to add more of a cross-linker.
A crosslink. Yeah, something that acts like a molecular glue to bind the chitosan and the hydroxyapatite more tightly.
Okay, so strengthening the weave of that fabric, so to speak.
Yeah,
And what about the pore size? Can they adjust that as well?
they believe they can, yeah. They believe that adding more hydroxyapatite to the mix could create a tighter structure with smaller pores, making it more difficult for the drug to escape so quickly. It's like using a finer mesh on that sieve.
It's fascinating how they're learning to manipulate these materials at such a tiny scale to achieve a specific outcome.
It is.
Now, I understand that they also developed a completely different system using titanium nanotubes.
They did.
What sparked their interest in that approach?
Titanium nanotubes, or TNTs, offer a completely different approach to drug delivery.
Okay.
Instead of aiming for that immediate burst release, these are designed for controlled, long-term release.
So it's a shift from a quick burst to a slow and steady stream.
Yes, exactly.
What makes titanium nanotubes particularly suited for that kind of controlled release?
Well, for starters, we're talking about incredibly small, hollow cylinders.
Okay.
And these nanotubes can be precisely engineered to release medication over days, weeks, or even months.
Wow. So it's like having a tiny programmable time release capsule in your body. That's pretty amazing.
It is.
I'm guessing these nanotubes weren't something they just found on a shelf somewhere. How did they create them?
It's a sophisticated process using an electrochemical reaction.
Uh-huh.
They basically take a special type of titanium alloy and use specific solutions to grow these incredibly tiny tubes.
So a bit more complex than mixing up chitosan and hydroxyapatite.
A little bit, yeah.
But the complexity seems to pay off with the ability to fine-tune that release rate.
Absolutely. Yeah. And they tested these nanotubes using paracetamol as a model drug and found some really interesting results.
Okay.
They also experimented with adding a hydroxyapatite coating to the nanotubes, creating something they called HATNTs.
HENTs, okay.
Hydroxyapatite coated titanium nanotubes.
That's interesting. They added that same mineral from the cubic gel to the titanium nanotubes. Why add that coating? What were they hoping to achieve?
Well, they wanted to see how that coating would affect the release rate of the drug.
Okay.
And what they found was remarkable.
What was that?
The HATNTs, the ones with the coating, release the drug much slower than the plain TNTs.
Hold on. So they were essentially able to slow down the release even further.
Exactly, yeah. It seems that the hydroxyapatite coating acts as a barrier, making it harder for the drug molecules to escape from those tiny tubes.
So it's like adding an extra layer of control to the time release mechanism. Fascinating.
It is, yeah.
How do they even observe these interactions at such a tiny scale?
Well, they use a scanning electron microscope to visualize the structure of the nanotubes and the coating. It's incredible to think we can now see these interactions happening at the nanoscale.
It's like peering into a hidden world where medicine and nanotechnology are coming together in these incredibly intricate ways.
It is.
So we have two completely different systems.
Yes.
One designed for rapid burst release and the other for controlled long-term release. It's like having two sides of the same coin, both addressing that same fundamental challenge of drug delivery.
Right, and what's fascinating is that both systems are still in the early stages of development, and yet they hold immense potential for changing how we treat a wide range of diseases.
It's definitely exciting to think about the possibilities.
Yeah.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, I want to understand the specific benefits of each approach. Let's delve a little deeper into the potential applications of these two systems.
That's a great idea. Let's start with the cubgel. Its rapid absorption capability makes it ideal for situations where you need immediate relief, such as managing acute pain.
Okay.
Imagine having a migraine and being able to take a medication that delivers pain relief right when you need it, thanks to the rapid action of the cubgel.
Yeah, I can see how that would be a game changer for people who suffer from migraines or other types of acute pain.
Right.
But what about the TNTs and HETNTs? Where do their strengths lie?
Those nanotubes, with their controlled release capabilities, really shine when it comes to managing chronic conditions.
Okay.
Imagine being able to deliver a chemotherapy drug directly to a tumor site over an extended period,
Wow.
minimizing side effects by targeting the medication precisely where it's needed.
So instead of flooding the entire body with chemotherapy drugs, you could create a localized, sustained release directly at the source of the problem.
Exactly. And because the release is controlled, you could potentially reduce the frequency of treatments, minimizing disruptions to a patient's life.
That would be a huge step forward in cancer treatment.
Yeah,
Are there any other potential applications for this type of controlled release?
absolutely. Think about insulin for people with diabetes.
Good.
With these nanotubes, you could potentially develop an implant that continuously delivers insulin, eliminating the need for daily injections and offering much tighter control over blood sugar levels.
It's incredible to think about the potential impact these systems could have on people's lives.
It is.
But I imagine there are still challenges to overcome before these technologies become a reality. What are some of the hurdles they face?
With the cubgel, the primary challenge is fine-tuning that burst release.
Okay.
They need to find that sweet spot where the gel absorbs the medication quickly, but releases it at a controlled rate, avoiding that sudden burst that can be problematic.
So it's about finding the right balance between speed and control.
Exactly.
What about the TNTs and HATNTs? What are some of the challenges they face?
Well, one of the biggest hurdles is ensuring the safety and biocompatibility of these nanotubes. We're talking about implanting these tiny structures into the body, so it's crucial to ensure they don't trigger any adverse reactions.
Of course, it's not just about delivering the drug effectively. It's also about ensuring the delivery system itself is safe for long-term use.
Exactly. And they're conducting extensive testing to make sure these nanotubes are safe and don't cause any harm to the body. Another challenge is scaling up the production of these nanotubes. Right now, they're mainly made in small batches in research labs.
So if we want to make these nanotubes widely available for medical treatments, we need to figure out how to mass produce them cost-effectively.
Precisely. And that involves developing efficient manufacturing processes that can meet the demands of large-scale production. It's a big leap from creating a groundbreaking technology in a lab to making it readily accessible to patients in need.
It's like going from baking a cake in your kitchen to running a large-scale bakery.
Yes,
You need entirely different systems and processes.
that's a great analogy. But despite these challenges, the future of nanostructured drug delivery systems is incredibly bright.
I'm definitely feeling a sense of optimism here. It's amazing to think about how these tiny, invisible structures could revolutionize the way we treat diseases.
It's a testament to the power of nanotechnology and its ability to unlock new possibilities in medicine. The research is ongoing, and I'm eager to see what breakthroughs emerge as scientists continue to explore these fascinating drug delivery systems.
I agree. There's a whole universe of possibilities waiting to be explored. But beyond the scientific advancements, I'm also wondering about the broader implications of these technologies. What are some of the ethical considerations we need to address as these systems move closer to reality?
That's an important point. As with any powerful technology, we need to consider the ethical implications.
Right.
For instance, if these systems become the standard of care, how do we ensure equitable access? Will everyone, regardless of their socioeconomic status, be able to benefit from these advancements?
That's a crucial question. We need to make sure these technologies don't exacerbate existing healthcare disparities, but rather help bridge the gap and improve access to quality care for everyone.
Absolutely. And there are other ethical considerations as well. For example, as we develop systems that can deliver medication with greater precision, how do we ensure these technologies are used responsibly and not for purposes that could be harmful or unethical?
It's a reminder that scientific progress always needs to be balanced with ethical considerations. We need to ensure these powerful tools are used for the benefit of humanity and not for purposes that could undermine our values or well-being.
It's an ongoing dialogue that needs to involve scientists, policymakers, ethicists, and the public at large. We need to collectively shape the future of these technologies and ensure they are used wisely and responsibly.
Well said. As we continue to explore the world of nanostructured drug delivery systems, it's important to keep these ethical considerations in mind. It's not just about pushing the boundaries of what's scientifically possible, but also about ensuring those advancements align with our values and contribute to a better future for everyone. Welcome back to our deep dive into this microscopic world of nanostructured drug delivery systems. We covered a lot of ground from, the intricacies of these cubic gels and titanium nanotubes to the potential applications, even some of the challenges ahead.
It's been, a fascinating journey exploring these technologies and the potential they hold for, revolutionizing healthcare.
It really has.
Yeah.
But as we've discussed, it's not just about the science. We also need to consider, the broader implications of these advancements. For example, you raised a critical question earlier. How do we ensure equitable access to these cutting-edge technologies,
Yeah.
if they become the standard of care?
That's a question we can't afford to ignore. As
Yeah.
these systems move from the lab to the clinic, we need to be mindful of the potential for exacerbating existing healthcare disparities.
Right.
The benefits of these innovations should be available to everyone, regardless of their socioeconomic background or, their geographical location.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about ensuring that scientific progress translates into, tangible benefits for all of humanity, not just a select few. And as these technologies become more sophisticated and powerful, we also need to be vigilant about, potential misuse.
Absolutely. We need to establish clear ethical guidelines and regulatory frameworks to ensure that these technologies are used responsibly and for their intended purpose. We don't want to see them exploited for purposes that could be harmful or, undermine our values.
Right, right. It's a reminder that scientific progress needs to be guided by, ethical considerations, not just about what we can do, but also about what we should do. As these technologies advance, we need to engage in open and honest conversations about their potential impact on society.
Yeah, and those conversations need to involve a wide range of voices: scientists, policymakers, ethicists, healthcare providers, and the public at large. We need to collectively shape the future of these technologies and ensure they're used in a way that benefits, humanity as a whole.
I think that's a key takeaway from our deep dive today as we marvel at the ingenuity and the potential of these nanostructured drug delivery systems. We also need to be mindful of our responsibility to guide their development and application in a way that, aligns with our values and aspirations for a healthier and more equitable future.
Yeah, it's a call to action for all of us to engage in, informed and thoughtful discussions about the future of medicine and the role these technologies will play in shaping that future.
Well said. We've covered a lot of ground today, but this is really just the beginning of the journey. The field of nanostructured drug delivery is rapidly evolving, and we can expect even more groundbreaking discoveries and innovations in the years to come.
Definitely. It's an exciting time to be following these advancements, and I'm eager to see how they continue to transform the landscape of healthcare.
I share your enthusiasm. To our listeners, we encourage you to stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged in the conversations shaping the future of medicine. The microscopic world is holding immense possibilities, and it's up to all of us to ensure those possibilities are realized in a way that benefits humanity as a whole. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure exploring these fascinating technologies with you. Until next time.